Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be showing you some cool things about BitLocker. So we have two scenarios. A situation whereby, for example, you've already configured BitLocker on a computer before you decided to actually configure a system whereby BitLocker will be stored in Active Directory. So right now, how do you allow about 100, 1,000 computers to be able to save their password to Active Directory if this computer has already been joined to the domain before you configure the BitLocker recovery keys in Active Directory? So let's see, I have two situations here. The first one is I've already configured BitLocker on this Windows 10 computer. So right now, the key of this BitLocker is not saved in Active Directory. Secondly, I have a computer, which is of course the computer is also joined to the domain controller, but I have not configured BitLocker on this computer. So during the process of configuring BitLocker on this computer, the key will be automatically saved to the domain controller. So the key of this BitLocker, I saved it manually on a network share. So, well, you do this actually if you work in a small environment, but if you work in a very large environment, think or in an enterprise environment, it is advisable to always save your key to Active Directory. So let's see. First of all, I have like two workstations. That is workstation 1 and 2. So if I go to my first workstation, I double click on it, you can see I have a tab here called BitLocker Recovery. You see it is actually empty at the moment. So, how do you get this BitLocker recovery in this tab of the property or in this properties of Windows 10? So, what you need to do first of all, you need to go to your server manager and you need to add a feature. Let me just show the feature you need to add. So, you need to add this feature called BitLocker Drive Encryption, which of course, after installing this BitLocker Drive Encryption, this will allow you to configure BitLocker on your domain controller so that workstation can save their password to BitLocker. So after configuring this BitLocker Drive Encryption, to be able to have an extra tab in Active Directory, let me just show you here this. So you also need to install the BitLocker viewer, which of course during the installation of this BitLocker network unlock, it also installed the BitLocker viewer. So let me click cancelled. So our first scenario is this. So what I need to do right now is I need to create a group policy because it's with the group policy we have to configure to make sure that our recovery password or recovery key is being saved to Active Directory. So if I have created two policies, which of course is linked to this organization unit, which are called computers. So the first policy is going to save BitLocker key to Active Directory automatically. That is if you want to configure the workstation. And the second one is going to save BitLocker key for computers which has already joined to the domain before you configure this policy. So let me just right click on this group policy I created, click edit. And here under computer configuration, you have to go to policies. In policies, go to administrative template. In administrative templates, go to Windows component. On a Windows component, you have the BitLocker drive encryption. So the first thing you need to configure here is store BitLocker recovery information in Active Directory domain service. So double click on it. Here, we just need to click enabled. And you see it says require BitLocker backup to Active Directory and domain service. And here it says select BitLocker recovery information to store. Then I choose the recovery password and key packages. You can as well choose only for the recovery password only, but for this test environment, I'm going to choose both the recovery password and the key packages. So I just need to click apply and OK. And also, I also need to configure the strength, say configure drive encryption method and cipher strength. So let me just configure that because I want it to be very, very strong. So I'm just going to leave it at the default, but you have other options to select the 265 bits and 56 bits, but I'm going to select the 128 bits, which is the default for the operating system and also for the fixed data drives and removable data. But for this test environment, we're going to just do it for the operating system. So click apply and then click OK. So right now I'm going to go to the operating system itself, because here you have three options for fixed data drives, operating system drives, and removable data drives. So I'm going to choose the operating system drives. So here we have the option to actually say choose how BitLocker protected operating system drives can be recovered. So how do you want to recover the operating system drive? So let me just double click on this and choose enable. And here I will just check this, make sure that this is checked, allow data recovery agent, then allow 58 digits recovery password. So you have the option to require 48 digits recovery password or do not allow. So I'm going to allow. And also for the recovery key, I'm going to choose 256 bits. So I'm going to make sure that this is also checked, save BitLocker recovery information to active directory domain services for operating system drives. And here we say you can as well check the do not enable BitLocker until recovery information is stored to active directory for operating system. So what happens is this: if you check this, the BitLocker will not be enabled for that operating system only if the key, the information, the recovery information has been stored to active directory. So click apply and click OK. So after completing the configuration in group policy, so we just need to close the group policy management editor. So let's go to the computer where we need to configure BitLocker. So mind you, I'm going to configure BitLocker on this computer, which it has not been configured before. And on my first computer here, BitLocker has been configured. So we need to create a new group policy which will allow the password which we already saved to our shared drive to be saved to Active Directory. So let me go to my second computer and try to configure group BitLocker on this computer. So, but before you do that, you make sure you need to do GP update. Let me just go to the command prompt and do GP update first, because if not, the policy we just implemented will not take effect on this computer. Or you can as well restart the computer for the policy to take effect. So the computer policy updated has completed successfully, and also the user's policy has completed successfully. So I'm going to close this and now try to configure BitLocker. Let me enter my domain credentials. Okay, you enter a password and click next. So as you can see here, we have the option to click next. If I have not configured the group policy to allow the recovery key to be saved in Active Directory, I will not have the option to click next. I will either have to save to a file, save to a USB flash drive, or print the recovery key. So what you need to do, you don't need to do any of these three options. Just click next, and I encrypt use disk space only, of course, which is more faster. Click next. Run BitLocker system check. Here, click continue. And I'll be requested to restart my system. So let me just try to fasten everything by restarting my system, and I will come back again when my system has been restarted. So after restarting my computer, then I will need to enter my BitLocker password. Okay, now my computer will be restarted. So let me log on to this computer and show you what happens. Okay, let me go to my Active Directory and see if the recovery password has been saved to Active Directory. So first of all, let's just do some refresh and go to computers. Open allow those for the second computer. Go And here we go. As you can see, the password of BitLocker has been automatically saved to this computer. So let's go to our second computer and see it's still trying to log on. So as you can see, BitLocker has been enabled and configured on this computer. So if I go back to my domain controller, here we can see we have the password ID and the recovery password. So if someone tried to log on to this computer with the wrong password for so many times and the password gets locked because of the BitLocker, or something happened and you need a recovery to recover back the computer to be able to log on. So the person needs to provide his ID. So we can match his ID to the recovery password. So we have the ID when he can provide all the last digit or the last first 4 digits or 8 digits of his ID. We can as well match last, or maybe the last digit of his ID. We can as well match it to this password and provide a password to the user. So that is it. But for the second option, so right now, how do we make sure that this the recovery password we saved to the network share is being automatically saved to Active Directory? So we have two options. I have a script here which I'm going to show you. Let me just try to open Notepad. So I have a script which I found. Actually, I didn't write the script myself, so I found it on the internet. That's a script. Let me just try and copy the script from somewhere, and let me see if I can paste it. So I just copy this script to Notepad so you can see. So what we can do, we have the option actually to run this script in PowerShell as an administrator. So by running this script in PowerShell, what will happen is the password or the recovery key of BitLocker will be automatically saved to Active Directory. But this is not what we want to do, because if you have like 1,000 computers, you work in an enterprise environment and you have like 1,000 computers. So by going to each computer and trying to copy this script manually would be a very, very huge task for you. So we can decide to configure a second group policy which will actually automatically, when the user tries to start up his computer, the script will be enforced on that computer by automatically writing the recovery key to Active Directory. So as you can see here, we still don't have the recovery password for this Windows 10 computer. So what we need to do is, let me just go back again to Active my group policy management. So click edit. So what we need to do here is, let's go to policies under computer configuration, policies, and here go to Windows settings. I'm going to start script and shut down. So we need actually to start and during the startup. So we need a script to be actually enforced. So what we need to do is, here in PowerShell, we need to go to here you have the script. So we have the PowerShell script. Just click Show Files. So when you click Show Files, so here we're going to actually copy the script from a different maybe when you save the script on your computer. So just copy it to this location. So I'm going to copy the script to this location, and then we can go further from there. So I just copy the file to this location. So what we need to do is just click under the file, right click the file and click Properties. Here under security, make sure you add the domain computers and make sure that the domain computers have the read and execute access, which is of course should be allowed on this script. So just click OK, and here we need to click cancel, and then we have to go and add the file. Click browse, select the right file and click open. Click OK and click apply and click OK. So what we need to do next is to make sure that when users try to log on into their computer, there should be a delay when the script is being deployed. Because if you allow the script to be deployed immediately, it's possible that some users use like a wireless device, or some users who use laptop, and when they log onto their computer, and probably their laptop has not connected to the wireless network or to the network. So we actually try to delay the script for being enforced into this computer for like 2 or 3 minutes. So what we need to do is to go to under your policies, go to administrative template. Here on our system, then we have to look for group policy. So let me just search for group policy. Here in group policy, so we actually need to search for configure logon script delay. Let me just look for configure logon script delay. Let me see. Let me just try to actually. Um, yes, okay, I found it. Configure logon script delayed. Click enabled, and let's just put like 2 minutes. Click apply, and then click OK. So lastly, what we need to do actually is to actually make sure, because PowerShell scripts, when they are being deployed on a computer, it's actually deployed on the user's profile. So mostly if you work in an enterprise environment, under the user's profile, PowerShell script is not allowed to be configured. So what we need to do, we need to change actually a policy that will allow this script to be enforced on the computer. So first of all, we also need to go to under your computer configuration, then go to your administrative template. Then now we have to go to Windows component and look for Windows PowerShell. Here we have the Windows PowerShell. So what we are going to actually look for is to turn on script execution. So when we go to the turn on script execution, so you enable this policy, and here you select the allow local script and remote signing script. So by doing this, the policy will be able to apply it under the user's profile. Because without you configuring this policy, the script will not be enforced on that computer. So let's just click OK. So right now, so we need to cancel the group policy management editor. So we go to the workstation, which is going to get this policy. So we actually need to make sure that we also go to the command prompt and type gp update force, and so the policy is being updated. So after the policy has been updated, so we need to make sure that the policy is updated. So we are going to restart the computer and wait for like 2 or 3 minutes, or let's just wait for like 4 minutes, and so to make sure that the policy has been fully enforced on this computer, and then we see the result. So let me just restart this computer. Click restart. So let me not delay the time of this video, so I'll just pause it, and when the computer has fully restarted, I will come back. So when we log on to this computer, and that's the first one, and we try to, so we have to go back to your domain controller, and here just try to refresh your computer, to refresh, and under your computer try to refresh, and here we have the first computer, and here you can see the BitLocker key has also been written to Active Directory. So I'll give you some tips. Should the case you didn't see the BitLocker key, recovery key on your Windows properties for computer which has already been joined to the domain after configuring this process, what you need to do is just to go to your computer, log off to the computer, and try to log on again the second time, and surely you will see the recovery key or the password and ID and the recovery password on your Windows 10 properties. So this is how you actually configured Windows BitLocker password ID and recovery password to Active Directory. So please, if you think this video has been of any help to you, please don't forget to give me a like or just leave a comment. And if you have any question concerning BitLocker, you can always send me an email to kejocomputers@gmail.com. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the script which I use to enforce this BitLocker. I'm going to leave the script below on my YouTube on this video, so you can as well use this script to implement it in your own test environment or in a production environment, because I'm actually using it also in a production environment. I'm using this script in a production environment, which of course is helping me to make sure that all computers which was joined to the domain controller before we implement this policy, now we are now having this password being sent to Active Directory. So my name is Kelvin Johnson. Please, if you have any question, also if you have any question on Office 365, you can as well send me an email and I will respond as quick as possible. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I will see you next time. Bye.